Look at that. It's not professional to say professional, but I'm saying it professional. How you getting on, mate?
I'm pretty good. I was just looking out my window at the sky this evening. It's very nice. What's the thing?
Dull,
red sky at night, Shepherd's Delight.
Shepherd's Delight.
It's very, very nice. I won't reveal exactly where you are, but you're down south, right?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't say where.
Yeah.
But
Southwest. Yeah.
Southwest. Okay. I think people know I'm from Bournemouth. Have you been to Bournemouth?
Yeah, I've been to Bournemouth. Yeah.
I love Bournemouth.
I like Bournemouth. Yeah.
You know that thing where people they leave home and they're like, oh man, I hate my hometown, man. Whatever. I love Bournemouth. And I never hated it. It's such a good place to grow up. I can't lie. It's great.
Now, I would say I'm from Cornwall. I won't say exactly where.
We can tell from the accent, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's a great accent. It's not much Cornish representation in the football space. So
no, I'll take it. Eventually, people go, "Oh, it's that Cornish guy." That's my thing.
That should be your at. That Cornish guy.
That Cornish guy. Ah. If anybody thought about it. It seems like at the moment, because at the moment I can't be Alex. You know, Alex who talks about Arsenal, that's you. And then you've got AM on football, and then I'm Forder on football. There's too many. Yeah, maybe I'll just change it to that Cornish guy.
That Cornish guy. I got a comment the other day saying, on the Cannon podcast, saying, really like you, Rohan, and the Canadian guys stuff. So
he has no name.
So you could. I've just started talking to a few editors, and one of them's called George. It's a nightmare. Anyway, we're rambling.
Yeah. Now, well, before we actually kind of get started on anything, I just want to say congratulations, 20,000 subscribers on the Cannon podcast.
It's cool.
Well deserved, mate. Well deserved.
And contributed to by you with some stunning thumbnails. I think this evening's thumbnail might be your best one. It might be your best one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was one of my favorites.
See, I like the one of you all on
the Shetland pony. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. The one I like about this evening is it's the face blend, which you do very well. It's a bit cheeky and it's quite glitzy. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, a little bit of glitz in there. There is.
A little bit of glitz.
No, I didn't know which caption you went with. And I was a bit like, is he going to go a bit close to the wire on this one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay.
Well, more than you believe. More than you believe.
That's the Cannon podcast cancelled now.
That's us done. Yeah.
But here we are. The appetizer, as I call it. The Cannon podcast live appetizer tonight. I think that's why I put it on the Discord. If anyone hasn't gone to the Discord, please go to the Cannon Podcast Discord because I genuinely love it. It's such a nice community. Just, chatting about Arsenal, chatting about Premier League, bit of fantasy football.
Abusing me. Well, comes
yeah. Talking about Rohan's height,
Yeah.
general things.
Stuff, really.
Do we know if Rohan is allowed into Alton Towers? Is he tall enough, or is
he was kicked out? But that wasn't for height reasons. That's for reasons that should remain undisclosed. Yeah.
We'll have to have a think of a different Christmas party somewhere. Rohan's allowed.
Yeah,
I can't think.
Where is he allowed? He can't be within 50 meters of certain people. So
Oh no, this is like poor Rohan must see this and think, oh.
He loves it. He loves it.
So we might as well talk Arsenal, I guess.
At
some point. Yeah. How are you feeling about all of the injuries? I'll do this. Injuries. Saka injury, Martinelli injury. What do you think's the whole truth? Let's go with that.
I was on Arsblog this morning, which is very cool. And I spoke to Andrew about this, and I said, the first thing I said was, do you ever wish you were born in a different era? I don't need to know that Martinelli might be injured. I don't need to know it. I don't need to know that, I think the Saka one will be obvious because it happened during a game. But, you just get those moment by moment updates about every single injury, every single person in every single place. Martinelli's left the Brazil camp. Martinelli is in a taxi on the way to a hospital. Martinelli's just arrived at the hospital. I don't need to know. Look, I think the thing I'd say is I'm not actually that bothered about Martinelli for this game, specifically against Bournemouth. I look at the Liverpool game, for example. It'd be good to get him some minutes if he's available, to keep him fresh. But I think he also played for Brazil during the off period. So, yeah, I don't know. Saka's probably the bigger worry for me, especially in the tight spaces against Bournemouth. They're quite jumpy as well. I think he could have a bit of space. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Saka's obviously the bigger worry. I think he's probably one of the irreplaceables, isn't he? So
Yeah, he is. And that worries me mainly. I wouldn't, I'm not going to say I wouldn't mind him being injured. Obviously, annoys me.
Saka.
Yeah, but it worries me more simply because we've had Ben White out, we've got Odegaard. It's that right pod, that we've never really had too many issues with in terms of injuries, and suddenly it's been decimated. So that's my biggest worry. That it's just that cohesion and the patterns of play, and it's nice that Arteta has been able to completely change the system and go with different things in different matches. We've seen Rice on the right hand side, we've seen him on the left hand side, we've seen almost like a 4-4-2 formation at times. It is quite nice that we're in a position where we can change things now. But yeah, I know what you mean about. I'm a little bit older than you, so I can remember one of my core memories. Weird one, going off topic here. Sat with my granddad outside, reading a newspaper as a kid, and seeing a link to Roberto Baggio. So it was like Baggio might come to Arsenal, and that's as kind of close as I ever got to. Do you know what I mean? Like, you hear some kind of rumor, and most of the time you knew it wasn't going to come to fruition. Like Baggio never came. I think he had his ACL injury at the time when this link was, and now, like you say, like we've got fans that are tracking Isak's plane and finding his number plate in London, and it's just mad.
And I think it's mad, but there's also quite a serious point here, which is like it can lead to being unable to see the wood for the trees, I think, and it can affect analysis, and it affects analysis, and people are like, whether you think things are good or bad or whatever. Like, I think it can cause us to hyper focus on certain bits of information and rationalize and narrativize, and it's like, just step back from it a sec. Like, it's fine, like it's okay, and that only happens in certain corners of the internet. To be honest, it's not actually that big a deal. But yeah, I obviously, because we're in them, I think that can happen. But yeah, I mean, also, like, it's a shame for Martinelli if it is gonna be a game or two. Then it's a shame because it felt like he was starting to find a bit of rhythm again, especially with Calafiori. And I hope Marino might start against Bournemouth. Played 60 minutes for Spain, so hopefully he's got some minutes in the tank. Obviously, we need to build him up. But it's a shame if it is going to interrupt that rhythm. I think it will still be fine, but yeah, it will be nice to see Martinelli have his moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a few pelters in comments recently after. It was actually when we were on live together on the instant reaction. I'd said that Martinelli's been, one of our biggest threats, and it's quite nice to feel a little bit vindicated now. Okay, well, he has been. He's been. Although, statistically, and this is the problem, I think sometimes people just look at statistics and just go, well, he hasn't scored as many goals as this player, and he hasn't had as many assists as this player, but he is like an incredible threat. And I feel like Martinelli is one of those players that needs a string of games. He needs that consistency and backing from the manager. I don't think Trossard's kind of involvement last year benefited Martinelli. It didn't seem, like some players almost thrive on competition and just kind of brush it off. I feel like that there's a mix of things. I don't think he was in form. I don't think the structure helped him. There's a lot of things, but it didn't seem like he kind of stepped up to the plate per se. Whereas Trossard, when he came in, at every opportunity, it feels like Trossard's the type of personality where he's like, I'm here. This is my opportunity. I'm taking it, seizing it. But I would love it.
He was delivering. George and I spoke the other day about Jesus, and we were kind of talking about it and saying, like, the thing is, there's certain players who it feels like we're willing to make not excuses. Excuse is the wrong word, but like, make sort of, what's the word, justifications, or kind of like extenuating circumstances for when a certain player's underperform. Like Ben White, if he has a bad game, there's always the, like, well, he might be injured. Do you know what I mean? It's always that, right? Martinelli, it's always about the left hand side, and it's not working. It's Arteta's fault, and there's if a player has a bad game, there's certain players that we're happy to, and certain players that we aren't. I think there's reasons for that. I think, like, for example, Jesus is probably one on the other side of the coin, where people are a bit more willing to just be like, nah, it's on him. It's because he's 28. Same with Zinchenko, and he's paid good money, and he's an experienced member of the squad. There's not. They've also got kind of credit in the bank, but that credit is kind of waning a little bit. I think Martinelli and Ben White keep adding to their bank of credit. But I think with Martinelli on the Trossard thing, I think Trossard's. I've always said with Trossard, like, fine. Like, there'll be people who prefer Trossard over Martinelli, and that's kind of fine. But I think Trossard is an impact player. I think if you see him starting games, I think he tends to struggle to impact games over 90 minutes. He can impact a half, or he can impact a game state, or whatever. Like, and that's perfect for the bench. But sometimes what you do, it's the same with the John Duran thing, isn't it? Like, I don't know what John Duran's going to be like, but that's why Unai is keeping him on the bench. There is a reason. Yeah. It's because he can impact games in a brilliant way. So you don't always want to lose that. So, yeah, I don't know. I do think, and just finally on this, I think there's been a little bit of like, it's only the system that's holding Martinelli back. He has also been underperforming, but that's fine. He's 22 years old. Like, or 23 maybe now. It's fine. Like, that happens.
Yeah. Let's keep on this subject then. We'll do a little. So I want you to just give me an answer, a quick answer, first thought that comes in your head, and then explain what you think. All right. So if we go with Tomiyasu, do we just get rid now in January? Do we hold on to him? What do we do?
I think what we should do, I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going to do a politician's answer.
Oh, here we go. That's what I said. Say it quickly.
Yeah. Hold on. In January, hold on, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see the cycle of Tomiyasu reborn again. Injury, recover just in time for the international break, go to Japan, get injured, go down, recover just in time for the international break, go to Japan. We need to see that happen again. That's what he's paid for, I think. I would keep him certainly in January. Yeah, I think he can contribute this season. I still consider him like our sixth defender. So Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, Timber. I'm forgetting someone here. Saliba, Gabriel, White, Timber, Calafiori, Tomiyasu. That's the pecking order for me. I think he's above Kivior and certainly above Zinchenko. So and considering his positional versatility, I think it would be a big miss. But he just needs to be fit. What would you do?
Yeah. I'd keep him for now. I do think in the summer we need to start looking. I don't know if we'll get the muted, was it 60 or 80 million you said from Bayern Munich for him?
Right. Okay. That was at a time where 1, there were rumours, 2, he was in unbelievable form, and 3, it's January. You're the mainstream media trying to get me out with your fake news.
Sorry, man, I couldn't help it. I just
You are fake news. You are fake news.
Do you know what? I was on Football's 12th Man podcast last week, and I was in just a jovial mood, thought I'd wind some people up. And I genuinely think some people thought I was being serious with some of the stuff I said. And I had to explain it. I'll just, like the whole, so you hate him.
Yeah.
That we do. So I did something similar to that. And one of the guys went, what makes you think I don't like him? I said, no. I'm only joking. It's all good.
Yeah.
Do
you think it's a British thing?
I mean, he's British though. And I know him relatively well.
I do think there's a, because I have it with George sometimes where not on that joke because he knows that joke, but like there'll be certain things like I'll say and he just and I'm like, it's because you forget it's like and also sarcasm is so, especially like deep sarcasm. It's why it's why I like Ben White, because he was born, he went to school like 2 miles down the road from me. I know him. You know what I mean? Like I know those guys. And so when in an interview someone's like, "Why you call Benjamin?" He's like, "It's my name."
That's my name. I love that. That's one of my
exactly
answers.
my humor. Do you know what I mean? But then obviously some people are like, "Oh, it's rude" or whatever. But no, that's like, so I think there is like a British sarcasm thing that's probably a play there. Yeah, but no, more like a southern thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a very
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, going off topic. That, by the way, anyone watching this, that's kind of what we do when Alex is on here. This is what happens. We just end up random chatting. So
Yeah.
deal with it. There we go.
That's fine.
Thanks for tuning in, though. Next one then. So I'm kind of Tommy Asu out maybe in the summer. If he can't stay fit, I just feel like it's probably time. And I feel like with Calafiori and Timber moving in, we're less of a push to kind of keep him now. Next one then, Jesus.
I wouldn't sell him in January, but in the summer, I think I would move on. Yeah, I would. Okay. Do you want me to explain that? Or?
No, I think we can all probably infer what you mean from that, mate. Yeah. Anyone that you would get in
January?
Would you go for like say if he left in either, like regardless, if he leaves, would you go for someone to kind of try and take Kai's place, like a real marquee, or do you go for someone in the mold of like a second striker, someone to come in, like Villa have currently got? So, who do you go for?
I don't know. I think we're operating a kind of nightclub policy at the minute, 1 in, 1 out, and
Yep.
I think it would. Yeah, I think it would need a departure for anything to happen. At the moment, to be honest, I don't know. To be totally fair, I at the moment, I think our squad's pretty balanced. I'm not looking at the only thing I'll say is a kind of forward player who I was talking about all summer, who has those sort of attributes that I said a million times about, with a bit more pace, a bit more of a threat in the transition, someone who can maybe be a bit more of a maverick profile. But I just, at this point, I just don't know whether Arteta is ever going to sign that player. So if he isn't, then maybe like someone like an Asana Diao from Betis is like a sort of a prospect winger. Someone like that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, there's no one on my mind, really. Like, I think there was a time for the last sort of, I've never seen Avengers, but I'm gonna make the reference. Does Thanos collect?
Wait. You've never seen the Avengers?
I've never seen Avengers. I'm not a child. That's a joke. That's a joke.
You've really offended me. Absolutely. Hang on. Look, this is how much of a nerd I am, not just about football as well.
Go on.
This is what I'm currently reading.
Oh, come on, Alex. You're 10 years older than me.
Yep.
Come on. No, if you like Avengers, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's I don't know. I find it all a little bit silly. But look, people can do what they want. And frankly, considering its popularity, I'm probably wrong. So,
you are.
But yeah, I am wrong. I'm wrong most of the time. Yeah, it's not probably. Yeah, what was he collecting? Infinity Stones or something?
Yeah.
What's the things he's
doing?
Right?
You know.
No, I know that. That's that's like saying I haven't watched Harry Potter, but I don't know they're wizards. Like, of course you know that they are wizards. So he gets the Infinity Stones. I feel like over the last Nindo, I'm sorry.
Unless Nindo means me.
Unless.
Do you mean Cornish, Alex?
Yeah. Do you mean
or do you mean
Cornish guy?
Ornstein's best friend, Alex? Let us know, Nindo.
I'm the guy I'm paid to protect. Yeah. I feel like we've been collecting Infinity Stones a little bit of like, we need a number 6 profile. Declan Rice comes along. We need that, like, superstar centre back or fullback, whatever it is. It feels like we've been doing that thing, and now we are like, wrist is full. I've seen that clip of the wrist being full, like where he's got the final thing. And then if we're gonna change out one of the, I'm so out of my depth,
mate. I'm loving this analogy.
This change out one of the stones, the least cringe one. That's probably you. I think that's you.
Oh no!
I think that's you.
Maybe
Nindo's signing off.
I think it's you. Nindo, we're still not too sure.
I'm definitely
still not too sure.
Anyway, long analogy over. Point being, I think we need. I don't feel there's a big stone left to fill a gap anymore. So if we're going to do something, it would be a big pillar out. And then the question is, which pillar? And I'm going to talk about this tonight on Cannon Podcast.
Oh, teaser! There we go. The appetizer. There it was. The
There it is.
appetizer. All right. Next one then. Zinny. Is it
Yeah,
bye Zinchenko?
Bye. That's your era. Sorry.
It is my era.
It is your
That's
era.
the worrying thing.
See, he meant your cringe, but I'm curly fries.
Oh,
Nindo, surely I'm the most
I'm
cringe.
cringe. Oh, I think I'm cringe because I've got the graphic novel.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notice I didn't say comic.
Yeah, because you didn't.
By saying it's a novel,
A
it makes
graphic
me
novel.
feel like an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really serious. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mazzini, that might be a one where we might excuse our nightclub policy. That might be one where I think we could, if we got a big sale, if like Maresca wanted to go inverted fullbacks, that sort of thing, and they wanted like a 30-40 million pound Zinchenko, I'd probably do that. And I don't know whether I'd need to replace that. I don't think we would. I don't think we need to be honest.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I'm agreeing
okay,
with that.
what do? We sign another left back. We've got Timber, Calafiori, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, and Tomiyasu, Kivior, Timber, Calafiori, and Zinchenko. We're not going to sign another one. So
no. And we've got England's left back as well.
Oh, Saka, yeah.
Saka, yeah. All right. Okay, I'm with you on that. Party. End of the season. Contracts up. What do you do, Party?
I think this might be a 1 in 1 out. I think I probably would let him go at the end of the season. And genuinely for football reasons. I think the other reason is obviously playing here, and I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But I genuinely, for football reasons, I think we can move past him. I think there's probably a player out there who can be a slightly more adventurous passer from deep, who can provide. Like I look at someone like a Yusuf Fofana. He's gone. I think he's gone to AC Milan now. But like there's players out there. Just because we don't know, that's the perfect player to replace him. We'll be able to find that. I can't see us not finding that. And to be honest, I'd quite like a kind of prospecty midfielder. Our midfield is probably the only place where there's a little bit of an age thing there. I'd quite like a sort of 18 to 21-year-old Brazilian who's going to be the next big thing. Like that would be quite a nice thing to have.
I would have loved Neves coming in. I would have loved that.
It's someone like that. He's probably too big for us. But so there, you every 10 minutes now Arsenal are tweeting about Edu tracking some Brazilian starlets. It feels like that sort of thing, like that sort of squad role that would make sense. And have the same minutes as Partey, because honestly, I think there will be games for him this season, but I think he'll see his game time massively limited with Mourinho now, because Mourinho's so available and Rice is so available. So
yeah, someone's put one in the chat here. I don't know who's put this in. Generally, I don't know who's put this in. KT. Is he going Celtic? January?
Nindo, how are you still saying I'm more cringe after that joke? Shocking.
Maybe it's just the singer. Was it Backstreet Boys you sang, or was it NSYNC?
Yeah, it was probably like NSYNC or something. Yeah. Kieran, Tierney, I think we'll probably go in January. To be honest, I think that might be our only sort of, and it might be a kind of mutual consent type deal where we just.
I get that vibe from that as well.
Because I think his contract's up at the end of the season. When did he sign? 2019, and he wouldn't have signed a 6-year deal. So I think his contract's up at the end of the season. Yeah. Did he sign an extension? I don't think he did. You can do the research. Lovely. Yeah, I don't think he did.
I'll get on.
Thanks, babe.
Runs out 2026, apparently, according to this.
So, okay, so maybe he did sign an extension. I can't remember.
June 22. Last extension is 21, saying on Transfer Market.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So so he did. So yeah, I can't see. There's no way back for him at Arsenal.
There's no use or value to him for us now, really, and his injury record's just appalling. I think, to be fair, at the time, the loan move, I looked at him and went, really? Are we putting him, in Spain? And in hindsight, I think it was the right idea. It didn't pay off in the long run, obviously, but it was the right choice. I think now, yeah, Celtic going back. But doesn't it show how quickly like a narrative and a trajectory for a player can change? Because I
Yeah.
remember the talk of, future captain for KT, and it's quite obvious actually he doesn't really suit our game anymore. He's not, not robust enough.
And
Shame, really.
this is why I'm so keen never to do like, oh well, we'll sign that player and that's that position sorted for the next 10 years. It almost never works out like that. So you've got to be constantly on the lookout.
Yeah. Good one here, actually. Miles Lewis Skelly. Now that's a player I could see if Zinchenko went.
Yeah, well, so there's more minutes from
that's
there.
our
Yeah.
one in, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That honestly, the Zinchenko sale, especially considering what we could get for him, I think, which probably realistically not in January was 15, 20 million or something like that. I think with MLS, yeah, I mean, I think he'll start out at left back. Eventually, he's going to move into midfield. But in terms of sort of taking minutes, I think he could absolutely take that Zinchenko squad role. I don't know how many minutes Zinchenko got last season, but that could 100% be Miles.
Yeah, and he's really surprised me with his passing range actually, in his last appearance. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, just such a good player. It's so nice to see some players coming through like that again. Because I would say not that there was a Darth talent, but you don't expect to get top players coming through your academy. I think, as fans, sometimes we forget and we've got like rose tinted glasses. You go, oh yeah, we have all these players coming through. When you really look at it, for top talents, even what most recent was like Jack Wilshere, he didn't fulfill his talent mainly due to injuries. And then before that, who was the next one before that? I mean, it's hard to really think.
Ashley
you
Cole,
could say,
maybe.
yeah, like because you could say Fabregas, but he didn't really come through
Yeah.
our academy, did he? We're pinching him.
Yeah, I honestly think we're in a golden age for Haaland, which is amazing. And what's funny is like when Ethan and Miles had that game against Bolton, there was a lot of people who were sort of going, "Oh, all those people who said Arteta doesn't trust youth, where are you now?" It's been 5 years, mate. It's been 5 years.
And I always throw back this thing of like, at the same time, we're in a position right now, like people throw out Man United and then bringing through youth, and they're in a position where we were when Arteta first came in. We're challenging for the title against one of the best squads ever assembled in football, period. Not just the Premier League.
And the best
one of the best managers. Yeah. Throw in a load of youth players. Let's see how that works out. Like, you've got to do it in the right manner.
I will say I didn't think his numbers were good enough comparatively, but I always said that it's like a tertiary problem. Like, you can say I don't think Mikel's particularly good at that and still think he's an incredibly brilliant manager. It's two things can be true. And I just think there was a problem either way, was my point the whole time. Either we haven't got enough talents, which that seemed like what they were basically saying, apart from a couple, which is absolutely fine. Derek Palmer, you are doing a madness in the chat.
Thanks, Derek.
Or we're not giving them enough a comment's a comment, engagement. Either there's not enough talent, which is fine, or the opportunities aren't there, which I didn't believe, or we're not giving them the opportunities. So somewhere along the line there is an issue, and we've clearly gone. There is an opportunity. It all matches up. Mikel rates them. The players are good enough, and there's an opportunity, and that's brilliant. But if that's never happening in 5 years, that tells you one of them's off. So
100%. Right. Let's. I know. What time are we on? We're getting towards the end here, mate. Because I know, obviously, you got the big chat with.
Yeah, I need some food.
Your boss, Rohan. Yeah,
my boss.
Right. Let's talk Bournemouth then. Lineup. What would your lineup be? What do you reckon predicted lineup's going to be?
I would play a goalkeeper.
Ooh, controversial.
Yeah, I'd play a goalkeeper. I would go David Raya. I would go Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. If Ben White's fit, maybe, but I'd probably start him from the bench, especially in this game. Although maybe we need his running a little bit. I'd start him from the bench because he's not been available. But I think he should be. Look, we'll see. He hasn't played a lot of football recently. I would play Rice Marino, Partey. No, would I?
Ooh.
No, I wouldn't. No, ignore me. I'd play Rice Marino, Trossard in the midfield.
Yeah.
And then I'd go Havertz, Martinelli, Saka. That's what I would do. What would you do, Alexander Forder?
I'm going to be really boring because you pretty much chose exactly the same team as me. Back four, I think, yeah, exactly the same. Ben White's not played enough. I think he has to come in at some point, get minutes under his belt. But because I'm looking at Liverpool and I wonder, I've argued in the past that Timber should be playing in a lot of our Big Six games at right back. However, I think against Liverpool, it might work out better as Timber at left back. But that's another point. So I'm just thinking up to that game, we just need to get minutes under Ben White, but he can't start for me. Midfield, I think probably Partey and Rice with Trossard. That would be my only change. Only because I feel Partey has surprised me. I think out of the two, Partey and Rice, I think Partey has been performing better. However, with a caveat, that's yours. Look at that. Little caveat is that I think Rice has been asked to do a lot of things that don't really come natural to his game, but also don't really show. We quite often look at the things that people don't do well rather than the things they do well and are doing well. I just think Partey, I think it'd be really harsh to drop Partey out and play Rice there. I just think maybe we get Marino to come into the game and go, and then over the next couple of games, then we slide Partey out that way rather than just straight out just going, you're not playing this game. Martinelli hopefully will be fit, and I think he will be. And then Havertz and Saka. And again, I think Saka will be fit for the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll both be fine. I hear you on Partey. I'm just excited to see Marino.
I am. Yeah.
So yeah, and I think I'd prefer to see that and kind of Trossard. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Marino deep. Maybe you're right. Maybe it should be Partey. I don't know. I want to see Marino so bad. So I'm like, that's what I'd do. But maybe actually for the game, he's a Rice Marino Trossard midfield, right? For that game, I don't know. I'm going to stick with it, but yeah, I'd be open to Partey.
It's interesting seeing Marino pop up in the right channels for Spain. Actually, something I didn't expect at all. It was actually really nice. Might be a video coming out on that. Might not, because I'm pretty lazy. So
okay,
yeah. Wait and see, everyone.
Look forward to that. May not.
Do you think that's going to be the lineup though? Or do you think there'll be any changes?
Well, I mean, obviously it depends on Marino and Saka's. Martinelli and Saka's fitness. I can't see loads of changes. I mean, the Ben White thing is kind because I'm like, if you have the thrust from Calafiori on the left-hand side, which has been quite exciting. The only thing I will say is Saka needs an overlap. So if you want to platform Saka, I do think he needs that. But he looked good with Timber against Leicester as well. So I don't know. I mean, Saka's just a brilliant player. So
I'm all right in thinking as well. Timber had he's like the first player since Trent in 2016 to record an assist and then have like eight chances
7 or 8
made or something.
Key passes or something. Yeah, it was crazy.
Unbelievable. And what an amazing amount of options.
Great problems to have. Yeah. No, it's great. It's great problems to have. And then, I think we got Shakhtar next. Shakhtar the next. No, it doesn't work. Ooh. Then Liverpool.
No, I'll take it.
Midweek at Preston, away at St James's Park, away to Inter, away at Stamford Bridge. I mean, there's a lot of fixtures coming up. So I think it's a good time, and there's a lot of players, but I think they'll all play their part, and I trust us to play kind of every type of game, which is exciting.
Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity actually to see if Arteta's grown in terms of trust for the players and the squad. and in terms of management, just rotating, because I do think it has been a problem. At the same time, when you're asking players, and this is not like a massive slight on the players like Nelson and Vieira, Smith Rowe, but I just don't think, one, you trusted them enough, and almost rightly so, because
yeah.
these weren't players that were going to keep relatively similar levels. It's nice that we can put Trossard in here, change the system, and was still incredibly effective. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what he does over those time. Oh, Timber doesn't take set pieces.
Timber doesn't take set pieces. What does that mean?
Ben White? He
I will
doesn't
say,
take-
I don't know.
help with set pieces.
Oh, doesn't.
He doesn't
Okay.
take them, but he affects them, I guess. Ben White.
I don't know
that
what
what
that
we-
means. All right.
Oh, there we go. Thanks for
There you
coming
go.
on, though, mate. I
Pleasure,
appreciate it.
as
I know
always.
you got a dash now. Before we go, prediction for the match.
Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 1.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he was saying Trent chance creation, as in Trent takes chances. Sorry, creates chances from set pieces. Okay.
Thanks.
I am more cringe. That's fine. So I'll take that. If that's my role, I'll take it.
Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in.
What's your prediction? You hang on.
Oh, my prediction. I think 2-1. I think it's going to be slightly closer. I just worry that after the international break, we're still not going to be very fluid. So, yeah, 2-1 close game. But we'll get it done. We'll get it done. And before we leave, just everyone just look at my lovely new light. Look at this.
Oh, is it like a backlight thing?
Yeah. I'm trying to upgrade here, Alex. Over time, I might not do many videos.
I genuinely
over
never
time.
will. I like my white background. I like it.
I'm sending you something at some point. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a little Canon podcast thumbnail type thing, but I'll do it as a wallpaper, and I'm going to send it to you. Nice big canvas.
It's like a frame of my head, and I'm with
that'd be so good. You give me ideas now. Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. And straight after this, at 7:00, go watch the Canon podcast live with Alex and Rohan. They will be doing some little awards. They might be a little premature, but have they come too early? We'll see. Cheers now.
Oh, yeah.
Are we in? It still says live.
It's still live.
Bye, everyone.